Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final session, which is session 5, Let's Build a City. So, I know I mentioned in the introduction where I'm from, but I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm not too sure if you are all familiar with how Boston is set up, but most people do know how New York City is set up. And with New York City, you have in in downtown, you have all these shopping strips. You have all these restaurants. It's basically the Big Apple, the place to be if you want the busyness within the city. That's how downtown Boston is. Typically, they have a lot of buildings that are very close together. Everything's very fast paced. Typically, you ride the train in or the bus, and then everything is kind of within very close proximity. I used to work in Boston. Um, and then I used to just commute home. And let me tell you, working in Boston was very nice, but it was also very, to me, dangerous when it came to money. Because where I worked, which is on a street called State Street, it was very close to the train station, but it was also very close to a lot of shopping plazas. So it was like I was making money and I was spending the exact amount or even more that I was making. Just because I had easy accessibility to go to the stores that were very close to me. When I moved to Florida, which was this year, I've noticed that everything is it's not the city environment that I'm used to in Boston. Um, right now I work in Palm Beach Gardens. And yes, the mall is, I believe, a good 15 minutes from where I work. But compared to where I was in Boston, it was maybe a good 10-minute walk, instead of a good 15-minute drive. Um, and then I would only have that mall in Palm Beach Gardens, whereas in Boston, I had the jewelry outlet, like I had the Macy's. There was a whole strip that I could have, options to pick into. So with this move, I do want to say that I had the opportunity to spend a little less. My spending habits have gotten better because I'd have to go out of my way to go do like leisurely shopping. Whereas when I worked in the city, the stores are so easily accessible. Um, since it's my first time being in Florida, I'm still learning about, where to go and what places there are to actually do my shopping. But it's definitely a big change from being in downtown Boston, being in the city all the time, to being in a place where you kind of have to drive everywhere to get to a destination. And it's really something that I've adjusted to and learned how to be comfortable with. But it really did affect how I was spending. Um, being in Florida, I might not be spending a lot of money shopping, which is a good thing, but I'm spending more money on gas because I have to drive everywhere. Versus when I was working in Boston, I was taking the train, so I was paying for a train card, but which was like I'd maybe put $50 on my Metro card for the month, if that. And then sometimes my job would give me vouchers for the train. But then I'm going to spend most of my check at a shopping plaza versus being in Florida. I maybe go out of my way over the weekends to go to the malls, but most of the time I'm spending the money on the little money here and there on gas and then just really going back home. So I've seen how being in the different states did affect my money habits, my spending habits drastically. I think just that's just basically being getting used to the environment that you're in. It takes time to learn what you like, what you don't like in a city. But in that time while you're learning it, it does really change some of the habits that you have.